So to say what's been happening on the oil markets with the Persian Gulf is unprecedented would be a very light way to put it, in my opinion. And as I'm recording this, the oil price is into the low 70s US, the paper. Also with diesel, I've been talking about the diesel situation in Australia on the channel. And Russia, with everything that's been going on with the war in the East, may be considering shutting down all or some diesel exports. Now that's a bit of a different kettle of fish to crude cargoes, because a diesel cargo, that needs a refinery. So you're talking refinery capacity as well. And a lot of refineries around the world may be getting low on their storage, on the tank volumes. So that'll be interesting if Russia does that. Now it could be getting, well, it's over 100 days of military operations around the Persian Gulf. And that's just incredible. The market may have dropped around 13 million barrels a day. With the crude now coming out or leaking out or whatever, that may be dropping down to 9 or 10, but that's still 9 or 10 million barrels. Plus the real issue may be, or the longer term issue may be the lost production. Something like 1 billion barrels in lost production. And as I've said on the channel before, all those fields that have been shut in, those wells that have been shut in or even choked back a lot, the ones that have been shut in, it's not just a matter of swinging a few valves and it's back online. It doesn't work like that. It can take months and months and months to bring a field back online and to get all the wells flowing correctly into the gathering lines and things like that. It's a big job that takes time. And the SPRs across the globe may be drawing down. So to me, it's incredible that the price of oil is in the low 70s. I mean, Australia, it may attract some super majors to get down to, example, the Great Australian Bight. Start drilling down there. Too rough, constantly all the time. Because if you're on a semi-submersible and you've got a big swell constantly, the rig has compensators. They can only go so far. I'm not sure of the exact number. It might be meters a heave. They've got to build different sorts of vessels to get down there. But the potential for Australia and the Australian GDP of what's down in the Great Australian Bight could be country changing. Same with the Northwest Shelf. Do we have a regime in Australia who may do everything to make Australia as unattractive as possible for this? I don't know. And even if it did happen, would Australian workers, Australian citizens be used? Or would it just be visas and bringing guys from overseas to do it? What do you think the regime would do? And even if a discovery was made in the Great Australian Bight, it would, the associated benefits of that would almost be immediate. For example, South Australia, because the more rigs that go down there, the more supply vessels you need and standby vessels. There's always got to be 1 or 2 out there around the rig 24/7. And they've got to come from somewhere. I doubt they're going to come from Perth. So you'd have Ceduna or Adelaide or Port Lincoln, I think. They may just start booming as you've got all the supply vessels coming in and out, and then you've got to have all the equipment to load onto them. So that's coming in from somewhere else, either flowing in or, because everything's expensive in the oil field, they spend nothing. You know, if you can do something that's more expensive, well, that's better. But it would just be a boom for the state, and hopefully the regime, state and federal, have some balls and demand that it's Australian workers, Australian citizens. But that may never happen on an extremely low oil price. because it just may not be worth doing. There's nothing easy about the Great Australian Bight. It's rough. It's a very hostile environment, but the rewards for Australia and the people of Australia could be immense. But the regime in Australia may do everything they can to make Australia maybe as uncompetitive and nightmarish as possible for companies overseas looking at, should we spend $5 billion on an exploration campaign in the Great Australian Bight? Just for starters? Yeah, but nah, because look at the government. Look at what we'd have to put up with. Look at all the rules and regulations. But thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you can, and I'll keep rambling on the next one. Nothing on this channel is ever financial advice or anything like that in any way. It's just some rambling comments.